and I will never see the Black Panther, even if it's offered in my living room for free, because it's based on fiction. I don't do fiction. My people's history has been rubbished and erased and lied about so much. I don't have time to feed historical fiction.
All right, greetings, man. It's been a while, but I'm back at it right here. So now I really want to address, is Black Panther 2, and just Black Panther in general, is it fiction? You guys have hopefully seen the movie by now. I want to answer the question, really, is it fiction? And the answer to that question really is yes and no. Now, yes, in regards to, obviously, you guys know in the movie, the concept, there was obviously, they had the round table, and they had the round table dealing with now. Yeah, so the round table was dealing with the various different tribes. And obviously that's obviously fiction in the sense that obviously the reason why there's different tribes is because they have different cultures and they don't get along, in so many different ways to put it, they don't really get along. So say tribes could come together at a round table, that obviously is fiction, right? You know what I mean? That's obviously fiction. And so, and obviously other fictional aspects dealing with, obviously we saw, the use of spears. And obviously spears is a modern day tribal aspect, but, when you're dealing with, for example, King Tut's tomb, for example, no spears were found. There was various sticks, but there was a lot of swords, copper-made swords, even steel, right? So, again, the spear, again, that's fictional. In the sense that these ancient cultures were running around with spear, that's modern day, right? So these are the fictional aspects. So now you might ask, well, let's address the elephant in the room. What is the elephant in the room? So the elephant in the room, obviously, the technology. People say, oh, the technology, this and that, and it's, for most people, that's what they believe to be fiction. But again, dealing with the technology. But again, see with that now, there's information dealing with, and there's a common consensus now that a lot of people are accepting now. The common consensus is the 12,000 years. So 12,000 years ago, there was advancement. There was advancement beyond our wildest dreams. And then there was some kind of cataclysmic event that brought that to an end. And then there was primitive nature, and then this and that, and then Stone Age, Bronze Age, blah, 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 to modern day, right? This is the consensus. But see, and that was a consensus that I agreed with, and I definitely contended to for many years. And then it was about 2.5 years ago now that I came across some information. And I came across some information, I was digging through some stuff, and some of a lot of this stuff was relating to, like, dealing with things that are relating to, like, mummification and other things. I was looking into other things, and the information that I was coming, looking into and coming across, this information was revealing things to me that really made me question. I said, wait a second. So now, based on this information, if this was really going on and they was doing this back then, it's either these mummies, right, were dating them wrong, and that really this is 12,000 years. And if the dating is correct, but we know that the carbon dating, because it's genetic material, right? It's genetic material. They have genetic material. They're technically able to date this stuff. If the dating is correct, then when this was going on in this time period, right? This is some Star Wars level shit. I mean, this really is. This is what I've came to understand. Because if this was really going on back then, that whole time period was some Star Wars level shit, and it took me a while. It took me a while to really get into it and to really deal with it myself, And then I was able to deal with it and look even deeper and say, yeah, this is it. But I know that the people, they're not going to accept this. They're not going to accept this as reality. And some guy left a comment on my other platform dealing with some stuff, and I was, and it's interesting because a lot of us, we got into this information really through biblical means, biblical Bible, and comparing it to the Bible. So when I was dealing with this stuff and showing the resurrection, how that's not the case, he was having a problem with that. He was having a problem with that because, again, this is what's happening, guys. You're coming through the Bible, you're coming through the religious stuff. So when when this information is challenged now, some of you guys, and some, like him in particular, he was struggling to come to terms with the information. You know what I'm saying? He was struggling to come to terms. So this consciousness really is not, not for the weak-hearted, man. If you're struggling to come to terms with information, and that's why I was really made for this, because the information is so overwhelming. I'm the kind of guy where I'm able to just remove any attachment I had And at the time, I had to remove any attachment that I had to this information and accept that this is reality. That time period, that was some that was some Star Wars. That was really, that was really the case because the information was so overwhelming. So yeah, man, that's what I was quick video just to address. Is Black Panther fiction? And I hope that this has really addressed that concept and really does. So again, man, this quick video right here. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it's going to finish it. All right, people. Thanks for watching.